I'm not gonna touch his knob.
Fine, I'll touch his knob.
Welcome to GamesOBoard. I'm PJ.
I'm Dan. Oh, jeez. Okay, so...
I never know if I'm going to keep these cold opens or not.
That one's gotta be a keeper. So, this week's episode, guys, we've covered something that PJ has had in his library for quite a bit.
Your mic was off the
You
whole
completely... You dick.
I don't know why the mic was off.
Who turned my mic off?
I don't know.
Dicks!
Somebody's trying to censor you.
Oh my god.
One person carried those mics over. It was PJ.
Did you turn me off? I mean, I expected you to turn me on,
Yeah.
but, God.
That's my job.
Gotta leave the condom off.
Okay, anyway. We played something that PJ had in his... Are you ready? Arsenal. Okay, are you happy? Yeah, I love you too.
Like that.
For a while here, it's Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core.
Yes. A cooperative survival game designed by... Really? Name's not on the box?
I don't know, check the bottom.
Come on, be proud of your work, designer.
Or not.
Or not.
Maybe it was by 20th Century Fox.
It's a Gale Force 9 game.
Oh,
That makes sense. They usually do IP-based games.
okay.
They did Firefly and...
You know, as much as I like the Firefly game, I think this one has a lot better quality.
yeah. Andrew Haught. It might be Hout. H-A-U-G-H-T.
Hout. Okay.
I think it's hot, though. Like haughty.
Like a hawk.
God damn it, PJ.
I'm just saying that's how I think
sure.
it's
Yeah, that's...
pronounced.
Get your mind out of the gutter.
My God. All right, let's just jump into it here. So,
right.
Aliens, Another Glorious Day in the Core follows the first half of the second Aliens movie.
No, second Alien film.
Alien
titled
film, Aliens.
Yes, directed by James Cameron. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies.
It's a fantastic movie.
Oh my gosh. I actually remember watching this first as a kid before I ever watched the original Alien.
Actually, I never saw the original Alien until probably college, actually.
Really? I
I saw Alien 3, like, when it hit VHS.
I'm so sorry you had to watch that one.
Yeah, I think that was actually my first Alien movie.
Really? I
And then
remember.
I saw Aliens, and I'm like, this is the only Alien movie I need to see. And so I got the toys and I read the comics that came with the toys,
Did you ever?
but I never actually saw Alien.
So when we were in college, that's when they did the, what was that, 25th anniversary?
I think that's
or
probably when
something like that?
when I saw it.
Did you see that in theaters?
No.
I wanted to, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I really, really wanted to. That first movie was incredible. So, this board game, like we said, follows the first half of Aliens. We were successful, at least in the first part of the mission.
Gorman was not.
Well, I mean, I think it's funny that we kind of went... we kind of
Stayed
followed...
pretty true to the movie there.
We did. Well, not very true. I mean, we lost Gorman, but Vasquez, who you played as, survived.
Yeah.
And Gorman and Vasquez, go out like a boss in the, ventilation shaft
true.
with one of the pulse rifle grenades.
Yeah.
So
the first mission that we played, we only did the first mission today, but it's finding Newt and getting out.
they come mostly at night. Mostly.
Okay, salad finger.
You don't remember that line?
No, I remember that line, but
Not like
I
that,
didn't know
right?
Salad Fingers said that line.
I like it when the red water comes out.
I like rusty spoons.
Jeremy, what are you doing here?
Hubert Cumberdale. So how the game plays, you control all the characters. Like, you have one hero character that you control, and then that person, depending on their rank, can control, like, other
characters, yes.
So I was Vasquez.
And I was Hicks.
Yes. And you being Hicks, you could control two other
characters.
NPCs, let's just call them.
Yeah, basically.
The game calls them grunts.
Right.
And so your character card has like a hero side and a grunt side. So, you just flip them to the proper
To the appropriate side, yeah.
And you have like a speed, you have an aim, which is the number you have to hit to kill an alien. And then you have like some other stats in there too, like a tech roll, which is how you barricade doors and use computers.
By the way, a barricade is very useful in these games.
Not so much for us, but because the aliens are like, yeah, just get out of that.
It's, you know what?
Get that trash out of here.
Get this. Tinfoil. It's
But-
tinfoil.
I'm sure for other people who have luck with their rolls,
Oh, yeah. Well, so,
it would be
okay.
a great thing.
The thing that's really interesting about how this game plays is you play it with a D10, and you also have D6, right?
Yep.
Okay, so your D6, which we played this wrong, but when we finally figured it out, it didn't matter because we were in the thick of the action.
Yep.
You don't see the aliens at first. Now,
And I love this.
yeah. So your first setup for your first mission just says take a random motion tracker blip and put
Yeah,
that
two blips. You put two blips in this one spot on the board.
right randomly, and whatever it is what it is.
Yeah.
Now, when they're moving, you roll that D6, and that's going to determine how far those blips move towards you during the alien turn, so the second phase of the game. This is after the player phase has already gone. You've done all your things, your movements, your action, setting up a barricade, maybe hunkering down to take aim, which gives your aim a boost,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. And then when they are discovered on your motion tracker, when you have a line of sight on them,
That's when you learn how many
that's
aliens
when-
there are.
Exactly. And you could get lucky and it could be 1, or what was the most we had? 4.
4. Yeah.
And you get these little tokens that count as your aliens. And then the last one, instead of a token, it is a miniature. Beautifully crafted alien miniature. And these things look awesome. The tail is nice and long and spiky. And you told me you had to put these together, right?
Yep.
That's a pain in the butt because they are small. And they look very fragile.
Yeah, the each arm, each leg, the tail, the head, and the chest piece is 2 pieces.
Oh, jeez.
So it's a lot to
One
just
for the-
assemble one.
Like, is the dorsal fins at least come together? Or are those
So
all
it's
separate
left side
pieces?
and right side.
Okay.
So it just like comes together like right down the
Okay,
down the middle.
Okay, that's not too horrible, but it could be a lot better.
It's still what? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
That's
7, 8.
pieces. No, 8 because the tail, yeah.
Yeah, 8 pieces to assemble an alien, and then the base.
Right. Pain in the butt.
And there are like 16 aliens.
Right. And they look awesome just waiting in the wings to
Yeah,
be put on the
I rearrange them because you build them. You can like put their arms in different spots, and put the arrange the tail in different ways and things like that. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. You can pose them.
yeah, so I had them in all in different poses and stuff like that.
That's cool. And what about the Marines?
They had to be assembled too, but they all have the same exact poses. You can't. They're not as easily
yeah.
modified, but you had to put their arms together and glue them into the bases and things like that.
Okay, so setup all around when you try to play this game straight out of the box is a little...
Yeah, you need super glue, 100%. You are gonna need some kind of something to hold the models together because they won't stay together on their own. Like to put the tails on the aliens, I used clips, like alligator clips,
Okay.
attached to, because I paint, I have like, this little magnifying glass with like clips,
Yeah.
like a soldering iron type helping hands thing.
Yeah.
And I had to hold them together that way.
Oh, geez, that's a pain in the butt.
Yeah. And it doesn't say anywhere on the box that you need any of that stuff.
Of course.
And if you were a war gamer, then you're used to it. But as a board gamer, you don't expect that. And that's
Right.
a huge, huge knock against it.
Yeah, I can see how that's a big turnoff.
Yeah. Especially when I know they can make those things without having to construct them.
Right.
Like I've seen Cthulhu Death May Die and
Oh my gosh, yeah.
and other minis from other companies, and I know that they didn't have to do this.
Right. But the pieces themselves, when they are together, they look great.
They do.
The cards that you get are really good quality. You have two types of cards here. You get your what they call
The endurance
the
deck.
endurance deck, which is anything from extra weapons that you may pick up on your journey to event cards. And
It's
anything
also
like that.
a timer for the
Right.
campaign.
I
Because
would
like
s-
as you
I wouldn't say
use
I wouldn't call it a timer. I'd call it more of like an ammo counter.
ammo counter, but it isn't a timer because if it ever runs out, you lose.
Right. It's like if you're completely out of ammo, you're done.
Yeah.
In this
So
situation.
and it carries over from mission to mission, which
Right.
is really
So you
cool.
really have to be careful, and you only get to go through the deck twice.
Yep.
And then you have another, which is your motion tracker deck, and that tells you what's going on with the aliens. After you've cleared out a section, you've cleared out all the aliens, it'll tell you if the aliens are coming back, if they spawn in a new location, out of one of 4 respawn points that you place on the map. It gives you an idea of what you're going to face in your next turn, your next round of turns. Everything that you get is great quality. They even have a little turn counter here, which is cool because it's got the very aliens-esque aesthetic. You've got your gunmetal gray. It looks like a steel background with your hazard, yellow and black painting
Yeah.
on the side, and it goes up to 6 turns. I don't know what happens after 6 turns because we didn't. Well, we actually forgot to keep track.
I think we just lose.
Do you lose after 6 turns?
I don't know.
I hope not.
Well,
You never lose for us.
it could depend on the mission too.
Right.
Like for us, the turn counter only really mattered because for the first 2 turns,
Oh, right.
you didn't draw motion tracker.
Well, no, it was the
flips.
first 3 turns. After your 3rd turn, that's when everything
That's when you started to draw
Yeah.
cards.
Whoops. And then you got this cool little... if anybody's familiar
First
with
player token.
The Aliens lore, your first player token is the Bug Stomper logo here with the bald eagle with the M41A pulse rifle,
Yep.
which is really neat. And
So yeah, let's dig deep into the components here.
Right, and then on top of all of that, each character and each player gets their
Ammo counter or their aim counter.
Their aim counter, which looks like the pulse rifle's ammo counter here, and it goes from 1 to 10, and that's how accurate you're going to be with your shots.
Yep.
Now, what's really interesting about this is when you go to attack. Usually when we think of games like this, you go, oh, that's your attack. Your attack is, let's say, oh, I had a 7 was my aim. So normally you think, oh, I have to get 7 or above. Mm-hmm. Well, this one's different. You have to get that number or below. If you get above it, you've missed.
And every time you shoot, that number drops. That
That's
aim
right.
dial goes down a number.
So now your aim's getting worse, and you really have to hope and pray you get the low,
Yup.
the low rolls, which is something you don't really want. In most games, you don't want the low roll,
Yeah.
which I think is pretty cool. And it's the same way for your defense and for your
Yeah.
your
Every
attack
roll,
skill.
is always
match it
trying
or
to get a
below.
low. Yeah, but trying to get lower than it.
But the map here is really sturdy cardboard.
Double-sided.
Double-sided. I had a gripe with the board itself. It's a great looking map. It's very sturdy cardboard. It doesn't look like something you could damage easily unless you're really
That's
out
for
of
sure.
your way.
you would have to deliberately attack
Yeah,
it.
you'd have to deliberately bend it or puncture it. But I wish the damn thing had would snap together. Because when you're moving, sometimes this board just kind of slips and
Give it
slides.
jigsaw puzzle pieces
Yeah,
to
exactly.
interlock.
And it doesn't have that, and I hate it because you have corridors here that you have to line up, and I'm a little OCD when it comes to all of our games that are like this. I always try to get them to touch and look right.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
And this one kept slipping, and it kept pissing me off.
Yep. I get why they did it, because you can make random maps for bug hunts.
And that's cool, and that's something that we really didn't get into that I would like to try next time. Mm-hmm. Because I just think it's we missed a piece here. I think it's just a really fun concept.
Yeah.
Basically, an almost survival-esque type game on a board game.
Yeah. Just gonna put this in the box here.
I mean, the artwork on this looks awesome.
Yeah, I really like it. It keeps true to the feel of the movie for sure. Everything's in like that digital numbering system that you see on an analog clock or counter.
Yeah, it's
or not analog, digital clock.
It's got that 80s futuristic look that you'd see with James Cameron films and just films of the 80s and 90s.
The cards have pictures
90s.
of like motion tracker screens on them. The blips look like actual radar blips that moving around the map.
Yeah. That's
And
so
you
cool.
you just see this blip coming at you, and you don't know how many aliens are in that blip.
And the thing that would make this better is if it came with a recording of those blips.
I know, yeah. Every time they move, I just hear the sound in my head.
Oh, it's so cool. So what didn't work for us?
Yeah, what did work, what didn't work is our next topic here. I have a lot that
I know you
didn't
did.
work. I
I
have
can
so many bones to pick with this
I
game.
can already tell you right now that the instruction manual, it leaves a lot to be desired.
I mean, I understand why they did it. It's easy to look up individual things.
Oh yeah,
Like step 1, reset aim dial. It's like a little square right here, and like easy to spot and find. But in terms of learning how to play the game, there's no flow to it.
right. They give you examples of like, hey, if you do this, here's an example, this, but it doesn't give you like a step by step. This is what happens next. This is how the game is played.
Yeah, and it's like equip endurance cards to your characters. I'm like, how the heck do you get the cards? And I'm looking all over the place for this book, and then Dan's like, give it to me. And he looked, and I still don't really know how you get endurance cards unless your character has an ability to draw an endurance card.
Like my character did.
Yeah. So there's just a lot of weird, finicky things in this game that could probably be cleared up a lot by this rule book.
If it was cleaned up.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because you can see they put some attention, to the way it looks. It looks pretty. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of really cool graphics on it. They use a lot of stills from the movies and great artwork. Mm-hmm. And they set up how you use things really well, but they don't explain how it's used in the way of gameplay very well.
And so, like, in terms of finickiness, too, there's just the whole, like, when an alien attacks someone, anyone with line of sight and is 2 spaces away from that person can, like, help fight off the alien. But then on your turn to fight an alien, distance from the alien doesn't matter.
Right, it's all line of sight.
So there's this weird disconnect between, like, shooting at an alien, why does distance matter for one thing and not for the other?
Right.
And then there's just like remembering to exhaust cards whenever you do some actions, but not all actions. Requires you exhausting cards. So there's just weird rules. Or like one option you can do is take aim. And like someone just like stands guard and increases their aim dial by 1, which is really cool. And then it has to reset after that.
At the beginning of the next
which
turn.
Because it feels so wasted then, you know?
Right.
Like I would definitely house rule this where like that just remains. That carries over to the next round.
Right, as long as your character is stationary.
Yeah. And that's another thing, like, maybe that's how it was meant to be, and the rulebook just doesn't say that.
Yeah, it doesn't expand
because this
upon
rule
it.
book is not specific in so many things that we just have to be like, well, I think it means this.
Right.
You know?
And that's a shame, because if the instructions were a little more clear, we wouldn't have struggled so much in the beginning. Once we got into it and the aliens started pouring out of the woodwork, it was fun.
Yeah.
This
I
is
still felt like we weren't doing it right, though.
Probably not.
This is like that Godfather game
Oh, yeah.
all over again, where
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
I feel like something's missing.
Well, what we were missing for the Godfather game was more
Other people. Yeah.
And this one, it's just pure and simple a lack of clear instruction.
Yeah, definitely. And then my other big gripe, which we already talked about, is building these minis, because it's a mess. Because I talked to other people on Facebook, and they're like, yeah, I put Warhammer characters, like build Warhammer armies for fun. I don't know who thinks this is fun, because I did this and wanted to just melt all of the pieces down into one goo of plastic and just throw them out.
Oh, and say it's the Queen Alien, the fun.
Yeah. But they all said, like, you know, like, I do this for fun, and these things are hard to put together.
I mean,
And, you know, you're trying to market this to people who are not used to this, you know, like,
Right.
I've never put minis together before, and now I never want to do it again. And there's another box, a whole other box this size, which goes through the second half of the movie, which comes with more minis and the
geez.
Queen and, you know, the
Exosuit.
Exosuit, yep. And, you know, like, you have to build all those. I'm like, I refuse.
oh, sorry, power loader.
Power loader, that's what it is, yep.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to spend money on it to go through that experience again.
I mean, honestly, this is something that
even if I fell in love with this game, I would not buy the second half because I
Just because of
don't
this.
want to go through that again.
I mean, this looks like something that you could easily 3D print and cut out all of that. Like, just 3D print it, waste the time and waste the filament, and it would probably be more enjoyable than putting these together.
yeah. And, like, there are other Alien games that made Alien models, and they look pretty good.
Which games are these? I must find them.
There's one called The Fate of the Nostromo, which is at Target.
What?
Yeah, so there's that one. Now, those minis don't look as good as these.
Okay.
But it still looks pretty darn good, you know, and obviously the technology out there is good enough to make minis that look this good that you don't have to put together, because CMON does it all the time for their games.
Right.
So, I don't understand why these are the way they are. And, like, for the humans, these are obviously, like, they aren't that detailed.
No.
The human models could easily have been just singular models.
Right. They could have been made out of wood.
I mean, Betrayal at House on the Hill has, and people make fun of those models. Like, they're no more detailed than these models are.
Right.
And they're pre-painted. They're all in one piece. You don't have to put them together. And, like, because you don't have to put them together, I actually had put two characters on the wrong base, super glued them down. So I had to use, like, clippers, you know, from our 3D printers, like those clippers to snip them off the bases and glue them back on
If you
again.
have an extra pair of those, I really need one, because mine snapped the first day I bought the damn thing.
I do, actually. I'll get them to you.
Clippers snapped immediately when I used them.
It's ridiculous. So those are my big issues. Are the rule book is horrible. The mini experience, like putting those minis together, was the worst.
And that's a shame because of all of the things that we've thrown in here as cons that would really turn you off from playing the game. It is fun.
It is
And
when you're playing it.
It could be a lot more fun. It could be a lot better, but there are a lot of issues that clearly weren't thought out.
Yeah.
When they did this, I mean, I'm sure they did extensive playtesting and everything to get this out on the market, but I don't think they really paid attention to the normal consumer coming in going, yeah, I love Aliens. I'm going to play this game and see this and go, crap. And I know it sat on yourself for the longest time because you told me I put everything together. I tried to play it once and I got frustrated and put it away.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I really want to play that game.
We've been talking about playing this game for like 2 years now.
Yes.
And that's something that in our interview with Jamie Stegmaier that he said was like, blind playtesting is so important just to have random people read your book and try to play the game.
Right.
And I wonder how much of this was blind playtesting versus someone who helped make the game, teach it to others around the table so he could explain exactly how it works.
Yeah, how to move, how to go.
So there's no misconceptions,
Right, exactly.
I would love to know how this game was developed because I can't imagine there was a lot of blind play testing for this.
I don't think so.
I just don't
by the way
see it happening.
Just by the way the rule booklet is set up, I don't think so. The one thing that is really nice about the book is something that I see with a lot of these games, like even our deck builders, our legendary deck builders of Alien and Predator. They've got a nice little step-by-step, this is how you move. This is how the game's supposed to go.
Yeah.
You do your phase, you do XYZ, second phase, the Alien phase, XYZ.
Yeah.
End game, XYZ, do a new round. Which is really neat because it's like, cool, okay, if I don't have my little card in front of me that tells me the exact same thing, I can just look at the back and go, that's what we do next.
And the weird thing is this book has it, but there's something about it that is just vague enough that it doesn't work. And I don't, because it has everything you just said. It has the flow of the game. I'm looking at it right here. It has the flow of the game and how every turn should work. But I still don't quite get it.
And I think that's the more minutia of the steps in between.
Yeah.
I draw this card. Well, how the hell can I use this card? When can I draw that card? When can I put it into my own, my own bank to use? When can I put it in my hand?
Here's a really good example, actually. So, on your turn, you can do 2 actions. And they can be move, attack, barricade, aim, interact, do an action on a card, or rest. Now, at the end of your round, or your turn, you go through a couple other phases after you do those 2 actions. And then after a lot of those, before you end your turn, you can activate grunts. Now it says here, after a hero character activates, they can activate grunt characters. The number of grunts they can activate is based on the rank shown at the top of their card. That's it. So it's like, does the grunt do 2 actions like you do?
Do they only do
they
one
do
action?
1?
Yeah, I get it.
So, that's how vague this book is. That one little paragraph is a perfect example of how the whole book is. 28 pages of it, and it's a lot of that, that kind of guesswork of, I guess they do 2 actions.
Yeah, I guess we played it right.
Yeah,
and that's a shame because this is a game I really, really want to like.
Mm-hmm. And for all intents and purposes, when you get into the flow of it and start house ruling things, which we did a lot of.
Yeah, we ended up doing that.
Yeah, the grunts do 2 actions. Okay, so now we know what to do here. Once we came to that decision, that phase moved very quickly.
Right.
But we had to do that for every single phase, and there are 7 steps to one character's turn.
Right.
And then it was my turn, and we had to resolve all that again, you know?
Yeah,
exactly. And then the aliens activated, and it's like, oh god, now we have to
Now I
figure
have
out
to figure out how to do this.
But once we got through that and worked through all of that finickiness, like that's just the word of the day for me, that's when the game started to really show what it was, you know,
Yeah.
what it wanted to be.
Yeah, and once you doctor it to make it
Ooh, that's a good word for it.
doctor it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, to make it more palatable to you or to us, then it's fun.
Yeah.
It's playable. It's fun. We understand what we're doing. We can now strategize on how to best get out of the situation. I'd really like to go online and just watch a playthrough and be like, did we do this right?
Yeah.
Or did we royally fuck this
Right?
up?
Yeah.
Either way, I think we had fun after we got through all of that.
I remember when I first bought it, I watched 3 or so playthroughs. Like, one was Angry Joe. He actually did one, too.
Oh, did he?
And,
I'm going to have to watch him.
but then I sat down at the table, opened it all up, got the rulebook out, and I made the mistake of reading the rulebook because that took everything I had just seen and washed it out of my brain, and I only had the garbage in this book left. And so I'm like, I forget everything about what I just saw. I just have this information, which is horrible. And so I just sat there at a table staring at this board, wondering what the heck I'm supposed to do next.
Yeah, and you know, I can't even just blame this game completely because I'm not gonna lie to you. When you got me the Alien deck builder, I felt the same exact way. Like,
Yeah.
I really had to stop.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I brought it to you. I was like, I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I broke some things down. Like, let's play it. And then after we played, I was like, oh, that's how we did it with Predator. Okay.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, this makes more sense now.
Yeah.
I can play this. And that's a shame because I think that these types of games should be more laid out. I wouldn't mind if this rule book was a novel or even like thicker,
Yeah.
at least twice as thick.
Yeah, I was going to say 40 pages
Because
would be,
then
would be good.
I'd look at it and go, oh man, that's a lot of crap. But we'd be able to go through and go, oh, that's what they mean. Oh, here's an example of that. Okay, holy friggin' crap. Thank you, Angie. Thank you. We get an idea of how to actually run everything. I think we've kind of exhausted that.
So what works?
What works?
We talked a lot about what didn't work. What does work in this game?
Okay, the mechanics. What we've already talked about them are they're ass backwards from everything else we've played.
Yep.
The aim system, the attack system with your aim, is cool because we're dealing with guns.
Yeah.
You're dealing with a gun.
And stress, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes sense that the more you're shooting this gun...
The less your aim is going to be. That's right. And I do like some of these cards, some of your weapons. Of course, you get the classic pulse rifle, you know, the iconic weapon from this movie, which, by the way, you know what that's made out of, right?
A Thompson, right?
It was
It's
made out of a Thompson submachine gun, and then the bottom for the grenade launcher was a Spaz 12.
Love it.
That's just so awesome for me. I love the gun. But you get these iconic weapons. You get the pistol. You get the pump-action shotgun as a sidearm if you want. You get the flamethrower. And, of course, if you have the pulse rifle, instead of putting yourself with a pistol or something, you can give yourself grenades. So you can use that as your secondary, which is really neat. So going into all of the technical lore that's in this film alone, you got it. Of course, you played with the smart rifle or the smart gun.
Yep.
Which in the video games is one of my favorite weapons to
Oh,
use.
it's so cool.
So fun. And the way that counter works, it's so simple. It's an analog thing. You shoot, you hit, great, you still lose one aim. You miss, great, you still lose one aim. It doesn't matter, and you just keep counting down until you're done.
Yep.
Until you miss, or until all the aliens in your line of sight are gone.
Yep.
So that's really cool. The line of sight I really like. I think that is a really, really cool concept of being able to be, like I said, you're dealing with guns. You don't have to go, oh, I'm 5 spaces away. I can shoot this thing. How big is 5 spaces then? If that's the maximum you can shoot.
Yeah.
You know? Because we're talking about a bullet that's traveling 1,500 plus feet per second. You know? So these are going to go a distance before they drop, and the fact that as long as your line of sight for your character is there with the target, shoot it.
Yeah.
Those are the things that work for me. I like the miniatures. I wish they would have been easier for you to put together. I wish they'd be a little more detailed when it comes to your Marine characters, but having them here is still good. Honestly, I would have been okay with just the tokens, because even the tokens look great.
Yeah, I do like I like the cardboard stuff more than the plastic stuff, I think,
Because
because
you didn't have to put those together as nearly as
yeah, I had to put these
vigorously.
together too,
Well, you
but
did, but they
it
weren't a
wasn't
pain in the
nearly as
ass.
intensive. But like, it has that 80s style to it so much more.
Oh yeah.
You know, than just these mini. Well, I just have bias against the minis.
I understand.
but-
they would even be fine if they were meeples, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, the game would still work regardless of what kind of components they are.
Right.
My favorite thing about this game, I have 2 of them. One is the blips, and these blips coming at you, and you have no idea what they are until they enter your line of sight.
That is cool.
I think that's fantastic, and the idea that this endurance deck carries over from mission to mission. So the farther into the story you get, the more tired and run down your guys are getting.
Right, and the less ammo you have, the less equipment you have.
So I think that is just really cool.
That is pretty cool stuff. I really want to go and see a couple more actual how-to videos, playthrough videos, to see if we did this right, see what we did wrong. Again, this is a game I really, 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 really want to like and really want to recommend.
I can't recommend it.
I can't. I think this is the first time ever.
Yeah. I said in an earlier review, I forget which one it was, but I'm like, when we get to this one, like, I don't know what it's it might be our first negative review.
Here's the thing though, as many
if you
negative,
can find it for like $20, maybe $25, I'd spend $25 on this.
if you can find it used,
Yeah.
pick it up.
Pre-built, pre-assembled. Yeah, if you can find it at a pretty steep discount, but I don't know if that's going to happen because last I heard it's out of print. Like they're not coming back to this game.
Really?
Yeah. So my guess is, if anything, prices are just going to go up.
I think this would be something that would be really cool to see as a homebrew kit. I could really see this map being made with a 3D printer, a 3D version of it. I could see all of the pieces here being printed as one solid 3D printed piece, per piece.
Yeah.
The only thing that I say you would really lose is the cards and the ammo counters. Or aim counters, really.
Oh, hey, look at this.
What's that?
They actually, it looks like, so I went on Amazon right here. No, you have to assemble these too. You can buy more aliens, like just a box of aliens.
Oh, that's going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And you have to like assemble them. That's just, an expansion you can do. But Amazon does have the game for $55.
So it is something you can still find.
Yep. And the expansion is on there for $57. Get away from her, you bitch. Is the second. That's the second box.
Nice. That's like probably the most iconic line from that film.
Oh, absolutely.
Not my favorite though.
But here are those minis.
Holy crap!
So I mean, they're cool and all, but like, again,
It's something you
trying
can,
to assemble those.
honestly, I think you'd be better off just 3D printing them, or even like hiring somebody to 3D print them for you.
Yeah, right. With a resin printer, our
Yeah,
printers aren't good at minis, so you'd need.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a problem with mine if I could get it to work again.
Yeah.
My first prints weren't so bad.
I haven't successfully been able to make a mini on my printers.
Then again, my printer is also bigger and
yeah.
yeah. Anyway,
So fun. What were any favorite moments from this game? We had one good stand up and shout moment.
we did. I'm sorry. It's gonna be the worst thing that happened to us was Gorman dying. That was my favorite part.
Yep, that was pretty great. The barricade breaks down.
Ripley couldn't make the shot.
Yep,
Gorman
no one
sucked
could
at
make the
making
shot.
and Gorman got taken out. Not as epic as it was in the film, but well deserved because even in the game, he's a sucky character.
He was terrible.
He has. I mean, just like in the movie, he's useless. He's really useless. He has very little aim, no technical abilities. His defense sucks. Mm-hmm. If anybody was going to go, I'm glad it was him. We could have been more movie accurate. We could have taken you out too with the the little grenade, but
Yeah.
it's all right.
My favorite part of the evening was definitely when your character killed 4 aliens in one go.
Oh, that was amazing. So we talked about the rapid fire, and I was able to get a rapid fire, and I kept rolling low. The first one, it matched what I had, which was a 7, and it just kept going down. I had like a 3, and then a 2, and a 1, and it was perfect.
Just kept
mowed 'em
knocking
down.
those aliens out.
I didn't have to get my NPC to do anything. I was able to do it all myself.
Yep. Cleared the way for the rest of us.
It's pretty much. Man, I want to be able to recommend this game, but I can't.
Right?
I can't.
Not at the price that's at $55.
Not at the price, and not the hassle it is to put everything together.
Yeah. Yeah, I just can't. Let's see how much else, if I can find it cheaper anywhere else. $95 for both of them on Etsy. Oh no, wait, that's just an insert. Never mind. That's something else. Is that
How it goes
the
together.
insert in this box? There isn't one, which means that you just have these alien minis loose, and one of my tails snapped off.
Oh yeah. We actually put him out of commission.
Yeah.
Alien can't run around without a tail,
Yeah. So that is another just really frustrating thing about this game, is that they make these really fragile minis, and then all of a sudden, they break in the box because they didn't think of a way to like
Put everything together.
Protect them.
Yeah. That's a shame. That is a shame.
It's at eBay for $40. That's a little better.
Meh. I mean, honestly, if I want to play this by myself, I'll just borrow your copy.
Yep. How about straight from Gale Force 9's website? Let's see here. Is it not for sale?
Oh.
I don't think it's for sale. I don't see it anywhere on their site.
Not for you.
Yeah, right. I mean, they said they were going to discontinue it, so I think that happened.
I wonder if it got bad reviews.
Probably. I mean,
You mean like this one?
like this.
Yeah,
one.
like this one. That's right, Angie.
I know Angry Joe was not happy with it either.
I don't
He
blame
gave
him.
it. But he's like, it just doesn't feel like Aliens.
See,
I disagree with him.
I was going to say, I disagree with that because that really did feel like Aliens when we finally got in the swing of it.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's the key thing. Is he may not have. Like
That's a
they
shame.
may not have found that groove, because it did. By the end of it, it definitely did.
Oh, yeah.
Because, the aliens start coming out, swarming. We're just like, we gotta get out of here. We just gotta
Pretty
get out of
much.
here right now.
I'm surprised we didn't open a grate and see him, crawling on the ceiling. has one of my favorite moments in that film.
Yeah,
It's so creepy.
Yeah, it was fantastic. But that's all I have.
I think this is something
this.
that I would like to try again with.
Now that we have the knowledge that we have on it.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I still want to go and find out to see if we played it right or if we screwed it up or how we can play it the way it's supposed to be played.
Yep.
With full comprehension of the rules.
Yeah.
But I would also like to play this with maybe another person or, 2 more people besides just you and me.
Okay.
And see how that would play out.
Yeah.
Because when it's you and me, we can go, you and I think a lot alike when it comes to tactical things, and we're almost always on the same page, or get on the same page rather quickly. And with maybe 1 or 2 more people with us, it would be really cool to hear another perspective of, well, why don't we do this? Or split up and let's go do this. We're like, oh, hey, that's a great idea. Now we're not bunched together. We can spread out more, keep our line of sights open, and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that would be worth revisiting. I don't think we'd do another review on it because
We could do maybe like a 1 year later type thing, we come back
maybe.
to it.
we just have to remember.
Yeah.
Maybe this is something we come back to. But I don't see it anytime soon.
Yeah. If I'm going to do a strategical skirmish type game like this, I would play Star Wars Imperial Assault, which has better line of sight rules, more interesting gameplay. Maybe we'll do that one next time.
Yeah, I haven't played that.
Yeah.
How many times have you played that one already?
Quite a bit.
All right, you did.
Yeah.
Now I really need to get into this next one.
I haven't played a multiplayer though.
All right, this is going to be fun.
So so we'll have to figure out if we're going to do a co-op, because there's a co-op option where you play against the app.
That's pretty cool. I like those.
Or there's, one person
Versus
runs the
everybody.
empire versus everyone else who's the
Kind of like
rebels.
Rebels or Rebellion,
Yeah.
right? Well, I mean, Rebellion is a
Yeah. It's more
teams,
like
anyway.
Yeah. Trying to think of a game that you played where it's because it's like Catacombs or the original Mansions of Madness where one person controls all the monsters.
Oh, that okay.
And everyone else is, just
Right.
one character.
Right.
But it's very much like, like almost like D&D.
Okay.
Except the person who's running the Imperial side of it, they are trying to win.
Well, of course. Well,
Because they have their own experience that they're trying to level up.
right.
So
That's cool. We'll have to try that.
yeah. So anyways,
Yeah.
that is Aliens Another Glorious Day in the Core. Final verdict?
It's not so glorious.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I would not want to be a bug stomper. Not this time.
Yeah. Which is unfortunate.
I mean, well, come on. Let's be honest. If we ever had to face that, I would shit my pants.
Oh yeah.
I am Hudson. Game over, man. Game over.
Oh my god, I couldn't imagine if I actually had a dream about aliens. It's like 3 days ago, probably.
In anticipation for this one?
No, it was before it was the reason why I suggested that we play it. Actually, I had a dream that I was in a room with someone, and they had all just been chest bursted.
Oh, jeez, dude.
Yeah, and in my head, I'm thinking to myself, I gotta get out of here. I'm like, wait, I'm actually kind of more safe now because the face hugger is gone. So it's just
Starting to use logic.
It's just a chest burster right now, and that's it. That's all the longer the dream was that 5 seconds of someone near me just died, and me going, I gotta go. Oh wait, and so it was a weird dream. It was really weird, but anyways. That's a thing you know now.
That's something I know now. All right.
You're welcome, Angie.
So you try to use logic in your dreams. I like that.
Yep.
I do that, but it usually comes later when it's like, wait a second. Because my dreams, I haven't had these in a long time, but it's always like, oh man, I forgot to study. oh crap, I gotta do this, and then like near the end I go, what the? I'm a 30-something-year-old man with a fucking job, a car payment. Why am I caring about this?
Literally every time before we had performed in a play, the night before I had a dream that I would show up not ready. The last time I had one just like last year when we didn't even have a play to do, but like I walk in for play rehearsal and there's a full crowd in the audience and everyone's like, "You ready?" I'm like, "No, my costume's at home." and they're like, "We start in 5 minutes." I'm like, "I'm not on till page 15, so I'll be right back."
See, when I have those theater dreams, I have dreams.
It's always the night before a performance. I have one of those.
For me, I have a theater dream when I haven't done any acting in a while, and my mind is going crazy. Mm-hmm. And my dreams usually consist of I'm already on the stage, we're already halfway through the play, or like in the play, and I'm going, shit, what's my line? I don't remember doing any of this. I don't remember rehearsing anything.
I've had those dreams.
What the hell is my line? Fuck it. Improv. Well, like the last one I just told you before we started this was I had a dream that we did a play of the Ghostbusters.
Yep.
And I was Peter Venkman, Bill Murray's character, and a lot of my stuff was just, what the hell was that?
Yep.
And ad-libbing the whole thing.
Holy friggin' crap.
Holy friggin' crap. It was weird. It was a weird dream. I woke up and I looked over, I was like, oh God, I need to get back into acting. I need another project. It's like
we've gotten off track again.
Way
we
off
do this
track.
a lot.
That's all right. Aliens, another glorious day in the Corps. Not as glorious as anybody would hope, which is a big shame, but maybe we'll revisit it. Maybe we'll properly learn how to play it, and maybe our tune will change.
I wouldn't mind giving it another shot.
We'll try it again, but as of now, as of today, our verdict is don't buy it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get a better tactical skirmish game.
Absolutely. Buy a Star Wars game.
Yeah. So that'll do it for this week, everyone. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and on Facebook, and just send us an email if there's a game you'd like to hear about, or if you have any insights on any of the games we've talked about already. We'd love to hear what you think about our reviews.
Absolutely.
And if you agree, disagree, why not? We'd love to have your input.
Yeah.
All right, so that'll do it for this week. Take care, everyone. Have a good week.